Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, is supported by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with code CLUB at 22. Your balls will thank you.
Hello everyone, and to the Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. In a week where some find out the difference between a party and a business meeting, we will welcome back to Ibrox with a 4-0 win, followed by a goal for Joe. I am your host, Scott Carney, and welcoming back Ali Pearson after a week off. When is it? A full week off?
That was a full week today. Yeah, I'm trying last time I was on. Probably was a week ago. That was longer than a week ago, I think, but I was away for work, and after the game Friday, I was meeting my pal in town. So, it's good to be back.
That's good. You were half rocking at Ibrox anyway, mate.
No,
even when I met you, yeah, you were getting there. Ryan Haymarsh, how are you, mate?
Oh, good boys. Happy Burns evening to you from Ayrshire. Yeah. I've just had a wee walk out to Burns Cottage there. Nobody in, as per usual. But it's nice to see Ali back. I didn't know we had to apply for annual leave, and we use that. How do we go about that?
He didn't. He phoned in sick, mate. He didn't even give me the gratitude of telling me he was going to be off. No, these things happen, man. We've all got jobs. We've all work. These things just happen. And it's just the way it happened for you, Ali. That it was like a week off at one time, really.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are here to talk about Rangers news, and there's quite a lot to get into, but unfortunately you're going to need to listen to my voice for the next wee bit. First of all, you can join the channel for only 99p. You become a Club at 22 supporter. You help us grow. Also, if you are a Club at 22 supporter at the end of the season, you could be in with winning a gift voucher for the Rangers store. If becoming a Club at 2 supporter is not your thing, you can support us by buying the podcast a coffee. A massive thank you to Ross, who did just that. And we really do appreciate it. Also, a shout out goes to Rob, one of our listeners, who has shown us really great support. And as always, please like the videos and subscribe to the YouTube channel. 2 wee clicks free for you makes a massive difference to us. We would really appreciate that. So the bit where you're going to need to listen to my voice. I'm sorry. We are doing a charity raffle for the Rangers Charity Foundation. Now, those of you that have watched this pod know that we had to cancel our first ever live show due to the COVID restrictions that got brought in. I had been in touch with the Rangers Charity Foundation to try and get something off them that we could do a raffle with at the live show. They kindly donated a tour of Ibrox for 4 people to us. I got that as the show got cancelled, so it kind of crossed over. I had no chance to tell them, and I've been left with this. So to give something back to them for their very, very kind generosity that they've shown us, we're going to do a raffle for it with every single penny going back to the Rangers Charity Foundation. So to do this, I've did a bit of research into different raffle online hosting platforms, etc., and all of them pretty much charge a fee, which is not ideal. It's not what I really want to do. I don't want any of the money. I don't want any unnecessary fees. I want every penny that's donated to go to the Rangers Charity Foundation. So to enter, there is a PayPal link on this below this podcast. If you pay £3 per entry. So if you pay £3, you're entered one. You pay £6, you're entered twice. I will assign you a number, and I will keep a track of it as a spreadsheet. I will be 100% transparent with this. I don't want anybody to think I'm doing anything. The podcast will make zero money out of this, and for £3, you could then have a chance of getting a tour of Ibrox, which is pretty spectacular. It's a pretty good deal, and we're going to be giving back to the Rangers Charity Foundation. So if you could, please do buy a raffle ticket. I would be very much appreciated, and we'll try and raise as much money as we possibly can to give back to the Charity Foundation. I'll then be in touch. We'll do it'll run till the end of February, 28th of midnight and the 28th of February. It'll run till I will make a draw on the 1st of March. It'll be all videoed. You'll see everything, and then you'll see me. I will video myself making a payment to the charity foundation for the exact number of people that entered, and you'll know how many people have entered because I'll show the spreadsheet when I do the draw. So I hope that's clear. I hope you all understand why I'm doing it this way. It's a lot more work for me, believe it or not. I've got to be on top of things with this, and I will be as much as I can. But every single penny I want to go back to the charity foundation. I think it's the fairest way. So if you could, we would be very much appreciate it, and we'll try and raise as much money as we can. So thank you for listening to my nonsense. And also, if you need any questions about it, just email the podcast email address. It's club.at.22.podcast@gmail.com. If you get any questions about it at all, want to know anything at all about the way I'm doing it, then please do just email me. Right, lads, Rangers stuff now. We'll start with the 4-0 win over Stirling Albion on Friday, and in particular we will discuss Alex Lowry, who made a very impressive appearance from the bench, resulting in him being named man of the match. Ali, you were half scuffed at the game. Do you remember the game?
Nah, of course I remember the game. Bad, to be honest.
But you went out after it, so you know.
No, I went out after the game. No, I remember the game. Obviously I wasn't on for the Aberdeen game. I was disappointing that game. I spent my Tuesday night in a pub in Exeter shouting at a telly for 90 minutes while there was a school disco going on behind me, which was a bit bizarre. But probably thought, who's this mental Scottish guy shouting at a telly? But I knew that he would make the changes for the game on Friday. I didn't think he would make as many changes. I honestly thought he would play Ryan Kent just to get minutes in his legs, because obviously he's suspended for tomorrow night. But yeah, the team, there was players there to go out there and show why they shouldn't possibly make into this Rangers team for games coming up. I thought a lot of players that were on the park didn't show much, if I'm being blatantly honest. But the boy Lowry, 18 years of age, obviously he's done well in the B team. He lit it up and scored a great first goal. But it was what it was against Stirling Albion. It was just one of the games, Friday night, 4-0, a bit flat at times, but we're through to the next round.
We are through to the next round. Unstunged points for Ali. He missed Sakala's goal. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's the first goal I've missed at Ibrox. I've seen disclosure. I think that's the first goal I've actually missed at Ibrox, because I never leave early. The only reason we did it was because we were meeting my pal in town. But I was gutted as well, because I wanted to sing that song.
I'm the same. I tend not to leave early. It's not something I've ever really done. And the one time I've done it, I'll not mention when it was, but it was that game that Kenny Miller scored in like one of the last minutes, and the score line was 5-1 to another team, and I couldn't sit and watch it anymore. I'd had enough. I was like, nope, not anymore. And that's the only time I've ever done it. I just literally couldn't sit there anymore. Back to Friday night's game, and Alex Lowry in particular. At the press conference today, Gio was asked about Lowry, and he said, we'll look at what is best for Lowry for his development. He needs to be playing games either for the first team or the B team. Ryan, do we as Rangers fans need to maybe temper our expectations with the boy, maybe be a wee bit patient? Obviously, he was going to be full of beans for the fact that it was his debut. He was running out to Ibrox for his debut. It must have been quite a feeling for him after the commitment that he showed to get himself in that position. Or, due obviously to the press conference today, this pretty bad news about Yanis Hadji, the fact that he's now going to be out for the rest of the season and had an operation for knee, restructuring of his knee, which is not great. So he definitely won't be back this season, and hopefully back starting next. We'll come on to that in more detail in a bit. But since that's happened, do you now look at the possibility of at least keeping him at Rangers to be the understudy to whatever attacking mid it may be? Joe Aribo, for example?
I would think so. I don't think he'll be going. I don't think he'll get shipped out anywhere or put on loan. In terms of managing expectations, like you said, I always think that with young Scottish players, I always think if they make a mistake or they have a bad game or an average game, then you always hear the grumblings, he's not good enough, he's not going to meet the standard that's required. Just let him develop. He's not at the stage of securing a £16 million move to Everton yet, but by God, he showed a lot of potential against Stirling Albion. He was, for me, the most impressive player on the pitch, and that's why he got the man of the match. In terms of losing Hadji, I know we'll move on to that more, but is it an opportunity for Lowry? Only Van Bronckhorst knows that. I get the feeling he might dip into the market now because it's a quality player that we've lost. He obviously Hadji does something different than their other attacking midfielders do. But short term, it could be an opportunity for Lowry to get in the squad. I think he will be in the squad tomorrow night, and if he does get minutes, then I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, Ali, also as well, it looks like the 5 subs rule is going to be in for the rest of the season anyway. So Lowry's probably going to get the opportunity in games that hopefully Rangers have seen off and were quite comfortable in the game. So even if he is coming on from the bench. So in my personal opinion, I think it's quite beneficial to keep him around the club. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think he'll be on the bench. I've seen a lot of folks today saying that's starting tomorrow night. Can't see that, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I like seeing young players come in. I did say that earlier on in a couple of podcasts about the B team. We need to use the B team. That's the whole point of it. He stepped up, he's came in, but we can't get too carried away with these boys because they will have the odd bad game. We've seen guys come into the Rangers team and they have a run of bad games and they're booted out and I wouldn't want to see that at Lowry, and I don't think so. He looked a clever player. He was wanting the ball all the time, Lowry. But yeah, I think with that the bigger bench now, I think you will see him on it. And he's with Hadji being out now. We don't have, obviously my main man Joe Aribo is back, but we don't have many creative players, if you know what I mean, in that kind of Hadji Joe Aribo area behind the strikers. So there's an opportunity for him definitely, and it also gives the other lads in the B team that are doing really well an opportunity to look at him and go, well, if he's made it in, we can maybe make it in as well. So obviously we're playing away in the Scottish Cup coming in a few weeks' time against a lower team again. I bloody forgot who it was, to be honest. Is it East Fife? Is he?
Annan.
I wasn't even close there.
You're useless, man. Honestly.
Yeah. So he's got an opportunity to possibly playing that game, and that's not that far away. I think it's only 3 weeks away. So it's positive with him, but I just don't want to get too carried away with him because I've seen this before with young players at Ibrox. Yeah,
that's the thing, and we're not the most of forgiving support when we're not 3-0 up 10 minutes into the game. So it's a pressure pot for him. But I mean, we weren't exactly on fire on Friday night before he came on the pitch, and he definitely changed the game. He changed our attacking mindset. Using a bit of a footballing cliche with that one, but I was very impressed with him, and I hope he kind of kicks on. And I'm pretty sure Gio and the coaching staff will treat him the way that he should be treated and not rush him and give him the time, because if that's just the start of him, I'm very excited to see where it can go with him. But yeah, easy night's work for a much changed Rangers team. And as Ali didn't know, we've been drawn to Annan in the next round due to be played on the weekend of 12.
I was hungover on a Saturday, so that's my excuse. My brain isn't working.
That's fine, mate. So next on the agenda is a go for Joe. I'll make an apology now. I don't think many people in Ali's area where he stays were aware that Ali was a Tunisia fan, but when they seen him running naked down the street after Tunisia won that game to celebrate Joe Aribo coming home. So I do make an apology for Ali's neighbours, but it's a massive push for the squad. Earlier anticipated, as I say, due to Tunisia putting out Nigeria in the African Cup of Nations. Van Bronckhorst confirmed at the press conference today that he is travelling back and he'll be available for the squad at the weekend at the latest. Ryan, this is a massive boost for Rangers.
Aye, and I think it was an unexpected one. I think we were all prepared for missing Aribo for a few games, not least to mention the Old Firm game. I've just got his flight tracker up here on my other screen. 6 hours from Glasgow.
I'll pick him up.
I'll send you over screenshots and a link if you want, Ali. It's a huge boost for us. Aribo has left a huge hole in that team since he went to the AFCON. And I watched him his 2 games that he played, and just as his class, he's player of the season for us so far. by a mile as well, and he's just hit that next level. And what a boost it is for us. I got in, I think I was playing, was it Sunday night, the Tunisia-Nigeria game? Or was it Monday?
Yeah. Sunday.
I think I just got in from sevens, and I said to my dad, stick that AFCON on. He's like, I'm not watching that shit, it's terrible. And I was like, no, Aribo's playing just to see what the score is. And obviously it was 1-0 Tunisia, maybe 10 minutes to go. And I went out a roll, and he's like, what is up with you? And I was like, he's coming home if they get beat. And my dad's like, oh, yes. I'm like, exactly. And then I checked the chat between us, and nobody had text. And I thought, I bet we're all sitting watching this going, don't jinx it, don't jinx it. So once the final whistle went through, I was delighted. Sorry, Joe, but I was delighted to see that he's on his way back, because he's just such a big player for us, especially in this Old Firm game coming up.
No, definitely. He's arguably been the best player of the season for us. I don't think there's many people that would disagree with that. And we have missed him. We've missed that, his ability to just completely change a game. And yeah, it's sad, the fact that he's not getting to the final with Nigeria. I think they were considered one of the favourites. Look, I'll be lying if I say I followed the African Cup of Nations. I didn't really. It was really Rangers Twitter and stuff that had kind of got through to me that Tunisia were winning, and I was like, oh my goodness. And when I found out Joe was coming home, I was happy. Probably not as happy as you, Ali.
No, it was an unwelcome surprise, to be honest. I had Joe Aribo out for the next 3 games at least. Nigeria, as you said, were one of the favourites to get to the final, along with probably Ivory Coast, I'd imagine. But it's massive, and don't let them kid you. Them on the other side of the city would have looked at Joe Aribo in African Cup of Nations and went, "Yeah, dancer." And now he's coming back, they've probably went shite, because Joe Aribo is our best player this season by a mile, I would say. He's just hit levels this season that I knew he could hit, to be honest. But to have him back, and he's back tonight. He won't play tomorrow night, but I'd imagine he'll play Saturday. He'll be raring to go. I think he's played 3 games in AFCON, so he'll be ready to just slot that Rangers team Saturday up at Ross County, and obviously for the old firm on the Wednesday. But it's huge having Joe Aribo back. It doesn't change stuff, but in terms of going to Parkhead on that Wednesday, I am even more confident now with Joe Aribo in that team, and I would just love him to score the winning goal. Honestly, it'd be brilliant.
You're going to end up with a Joe Aribo tattoo on your face, mate, I think, if that happens. Look, and with the news about Hadji, this news is just massive. It takes on even more significance, the fact that obviously we're losing Giannis, which is so unfortunate. As I say, I know he's not been in the best of form, but still he's a player that could change a game with just a pass, the kind of flair player that Ali always said. He had it in his locker from time to time, and we've all said maybe he was trying too hard with Gio coming in, etc., etc. But now the fact that Joe Aribo's coming back as well is huge for Rangers, and an absolute massive boost. And yeah, I was smiling from ear to ear, because to let him have a go at them at the Old Firm is something I literally cannot wait to see. I'm absolutely delighted about it. Sad that he didn't get to the final and possibly win it with Nigeria, but Joe Aribo's back, and just Rangers Twitter and just blew up. It was just like, he's coming home. And you're right, Ali, they would have a wee look at that and went, oh no, because look, we don't often speak about them, but I think it's significant considering the week we're coming up to. They're going to have no Kyogo, they're going to have no McGregor, they're going to have no Turnbull. I think Rogic is away on international duty with Australia and somebody else, another
Maeda or something. The guy, I think he's away.
Yeah, so he's away. So that's very significant, the fact that Joe Aribo's going to be back. Yes, we're going to be without Alfredo Morelos, but to have one of the two of them at this present time, even though I think Morelos is on fire just now, I would still have picked Joe Aribo. I think we would all have. Ali, yeah, I think we would all have picked Joe Aribo to play if we had to pick between the two of them. So yes, delighted about it. Absolutely delighted. Cannot wait. So speaking of good news, a word from our sponsors, Manscaped. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here with the best tools to get your balls ready for the special occasion. This Valentine's Day, it's time to join 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below the waist grooming. With exclusive offer, go to manscaped.com, use code CLUB@22 for 20% off and free shipping. The number one product is in the package is a Lawnmower 4.0, the electric trimmer designed to trim hair on loose skin. To complete the perfect package for your package are liquid formulations like the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver, Ali's favourite, the Ball Toner. Start your day off with deodorant for your boys and then stay cool all day with toner to keep you feeling your best all day and night. Your balls and lady or fella, PC podcast and all that, will definitely thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with code CLUB@22 at manscaped.com. My God, man, that's a hard one to read through that without laughing about certain things. But yes, again, thank you to Manscaped for their continued support from us. They've been terrific. So if you could go use that code, you'd be supporting this podcast, and we cannot thank you enough. And your balls will thank you even more. So we'll move on, gentlemen. Transfer deadline day is upon us. It's reported, I heard on Heart and Hand, that Hearts knocked back 300,000 for John Souttar to join Rangers. In this window, they are looking for something around 600,000, which is absolutely ludicrous. I don't know what they are thinking, really, with that one. And obviously, Connor Goldson has reported to have interest from Championship clubs in England. There is a contract on the table for Goldson. So I suppose my question is, Ali, I'll come to you. Does Souttar arriving this window depend on what contract Connor Goldson wants to sign?
If Connor Goldson leaves in this window, yes, we bring Souttar in. If Connor Goldson stays in this window, no. Why pay Hearts that money for a guy we get in a few months for free when we've got Balogun, who's just come back, we've got Hollander, who's back in training, we've got Bassey, that's been playing centre-half brilliantly. We don't need him at the moment if Goldson's still there. I know he's playing tomorrow night against them, Souttar, so hopefully he can do us a wee favour tomorrow. But I've seen some of the clubs Goldson was linked with, Nottingham Forest and was it West Brom or something in the Championship?
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't it fill me with... None of the two teams fill you with any confidence. I honestly thought Connor Goldson, I thought Connor Goldson could play for a bottom half Premiership team, if I'm being honest, in England. Championship, I know you'll get a lot more money down there probably with those two teams, but I don't know how that would float his boat, those two teams. I know Forest are doing reasonably all right, same with West Brom, but I thought he would attract a bit better than that, to be honest. Yeah, and that's no disrespect to the two clubs before their fans come on and pound me for that.
Aye, it's all right, mate. I don't think Forest fans or West Brom fans watching this. Ryan, I'm just about to say something that the Moonhowlers will attack me for. Ayers at Brentford in the Premier League. In my opinion, Connor Goldson is no worse a player than Ayer is. And I'm not going to do the whole thing that he's crap because he plays for Celtic. Ayer's a decent defender. I think he kind of plays right back for them at times as well. And I know he did that for Celtic, but I think he's out and out positions as centre back. But Nottingham Forest and West Brom over Rangers, there's not really a competition, or is that blue tinted spectacles?
You're doing Ayer a disservice here, Carney, because you're forgetting that Connor Goldson hasn't quite reached the levels of doing a blind pass when your team are getting beat 4-1 against the greatest rivals.
That's true.
I'm exactly the same as Ali in terms of this will happen if Goldson leaves this Souttar deal. If Goldson is staying until the summer, I'm convinced he's leaving. I've been convinced all season he's leaving. If he's staying till the summer, give Hearts, forgive my language, fuck all. Give them nothing, because they have got to be joking with this 600 grand. How much do they value him before if he had a 3-year contract? I don't understand where 600 grand comes from. Give them nothing. So yeah, I think this will be determined on whether Goldson's staying or not. If those are the teams that are at the table for him, Nottingham Forest and West Brom, I get that this is probably Goldson's last deal, a last kind of big money move to set him up for life. I've no idea how much Connor Goldson will be on it at Rangers. But is he really wanting to leave Rangers halfway through the season to go to Nottingham Forest or West Brom? Those teams will still be there in the summer for him. Stay, win us the league, get us into the Champions League and take it from there. But I would like to think that he will stay because he's been brilliant since Gio came in. He really has turned a corner. And I know it was only Stirling Albion. I thought he was, the Aberdeen game last week, I thought he was brilliant against Aberdeen. I think I said on the pod I gave him the man of the match and he just looks focused again. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out from now to the end of the window. But yes, bookend that once again. Give Hearts fuck all.
I tend to agree because I mean $600,000. I mean they must just be taking the piss really to think that Rangers are going to pay that. We're just not going to pay that. So in terms of Connor Goldson, now I think a lot of credit has to go to Giovanni Van Bronckhorst for the way that he's tinkered with the squad in order to support the centre backs more and the way that they don't bomb forward and such. And I think he's gave Goldson confidence back in terms of letting him do that because he knows there's going to be support there. And that's even went right back through into Alan McGregor as well because he's arguably playing better in my personal opinion, the fact that since Gio's came back. So look, I don't know, this is purely speculation on my part. I think Connor Goldson might be looking at some other players that are getting paid at the club and maybe thinking, I played every game last season, that, etc. I deserve this. And maybe the club are just not willing to budge. The club are also, this is his last big contract, no matter what, because he's going to be, 34, maybe 35, I think, by the time that the contract would end, or theoretically end, if it's a 3-year deal, which you'd imagine it would be, no matter where he goes, it's going to be a 3-year deal, possibly a 4. So I don't know whether he's holding out thinking that he's going to get more elsewhere, which he possibly will. But again, all depends on where his ambition lies. No disrespect to Nottingham Forest and West Brom, I'll cover my back as well so they don't come after me after watching this. They're not going to be playing Champions League football next year. Now, we're not guaranteed to be playing Champions League football next year, but we could give it a right good crack, and he's got more chance of doing it for the rest of his career, in my personal opinion, with us than he does with any other team. So it's really all down to the player now, what he decides to do. It's one of the ones, but it's going to continue to roll on and on. But yeah, we'll need to wait and see. Obviously, if it passes, he's not signed a contract with us, or the transfer window passes, he's not signed a contract with us or another team for that matter, or we don't hear anything about it, then I do still expect him to leave in the summer if it's not been announced that he's signed a contract by the end of the transfer window, which doesn't look too likely at the minute. So we'll wait and see with that one. Ali, I'll come back to you, mate. Obviously, Hadji been out. Probably where Scotia is just now, he's probably he can't stop crying the fact that Yanis Hadji's out for the rest of the season. Do Rangers go into the market now?
Yeah, definitely. As we don't have, he wants to play where Joe Aribo plays, and if Joe Aribo's not there, he's played those games. Hadji, yeah, he's flat to deceive, but I've said he has these moments. Aberdeen, I don't think he was particularly great, but he scored the goal. So he does stuff like that. He'll set up goals, he does assists, etc. But yeah, because I think Van Bronckhorst likes Hadji. Well, it's pretty noticeable he likes Hadji because he's been playing pretty much every game under Van Bronckhorst. So yeah, but I think it gives Van Bronckhorst more ammo going to Ross Wilson and saying, look, we need somebody now. I think if he'd went in and he still had Hadji, Ross Wilson might go, well, you've got Hadji, you've got Bacuna, etc. Maybe don't need somebody. Now, I think he can force their hand now, the board, to say, no, we need to go for somebody, even if it's a lone player. But just hear him today in the presser, I fully expect Rangers to go in and get some type of creative Hadji Aribo type player to come in. Whether it's a loan signing to end the season, that's a possibility. But yeah, Rangers... Well, I'm saying I'm not going to make any statements that I've made before in this podcast, but I fully expect Rangers to go into the transfer market and bring that one player in to replace Hadji.
Yeah, because if you do make statements on this podcast and you get it wrong, mate, I will never let you forget it, as you're well aware.
I said, Rangers will not concede.
Yes, that's definitely one of your worst, mate. Yeah, that was one of your worst. Brian, Now, obviously, we spoke about different areas that we expect Rangers to strengthen in. Maybe not this window, but just kind of overall. Possibly this window, yes. I think, personally, we're either going to get one of the two. We're either going to get an attacking mid or we're going to get a right wing. And if we get a right wing, I think that opens up a massive opportunity for the boy Lowry that we were talking about earlier on, because that will keep him in and around the squad as an option to have as an attacking mid, obviously without Hadji being there. Would you go along with that? Do you think it's probably going to be one or the other?
I wouldn't be surprised if we get both, Carney, and I don't. I expected Rangers to go into the transfer market, whether a player get injured or not. I just think there's a bit of staleness sometimes with that attack. And to touch on Hadji again, Hadji and Aribo are similar in terms of they're the players who unlock teams and play that clever pass. Although Hadji has, as Ali said, flatter to deceive, he is the player who unlocks teams. He'll have a shot from outside the box, so he offers you that different option. From now till May, if we don't replace him, we will miss that. There will be games where we need that type of player. So I can't see Rangers not going in the market for someone like that, someone that mould. It's whether you can get the quality or not. But I am convinced Rangers will get in the market for at least one player. And I think everybody needs to I've seen it on Twitter, Rangers Twitter's like panicking about Rangers not signing. If you've learned anything since this new board took over, is you'll hear very little about transfers until it's almost over the line, if not over the line. So I think we just need to stay calm, trust in Gio, trust in this board, and believe that we are going to bring somebody in. I'm convinced we will, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a signing and a loan signing, but I reckon we'll bring two in.
Well, mate, I'm for that. I think we require it. I think we spoke about it before, about the kind of lack of, if there's no Aribo there, we don't really have that person to unlock it, especially with Hadji's recent form. Obviously, he's out the equation now, but I think we were discussing it. So I would love to see sign both a winger and an attacking mid. I think.
Sorry, Carney.
Go, mate. No, go.
Just jumping in there. Do you think we're saying this even more because Bacuna, when we've seen him, again, I'll use the words flat to deceive, and I thought he did the other night. He's that guy with a bit of creativity, but I don't think, and it sounds bad because he's not had a big chance, but when I've seen him, I don't think we could trust Bacuna in that position going forward. I think that's another reason why we need to go out and get somebody, because
I agree.
I don't think we could rely on Bacuna playing that position.
I mean, I think possibly I was a wee bit harsh on him. We did get 2 assists on Friday night, but the rest of it, he didn't do a great deal. And I will be able to tell by your two faces when I say this here. Imagine we were going into the Old Firm as Bacuna as your attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
Every one of us is like, nah, not for me. So I don't think he's got much time here. I don't think he's a Gio player. I think he was very much a Gerrard player. I don't see him having a future. Ryan, do you agree? Because he's probably not going to feature too much.
As I said the other night there, I think there was an aspect of that being a short window the other night there with his lineup. Where Barker came from, who the fuck was? I mean, where did that come from? It's got to be. It just makes me think that there's a few things boiling in the background in terms of players going out and players coming in, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see Bacuna, Lundstrom and Barker being moved on, whether it is loan deals or whatever, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see the three of them hit the exit door, even the last minute for the transfer window. But yeah, Bacuna's, I just don't see him having any future under Gio at all.
Oh, I agree, mate. I do. I can't see it. I just can't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. So yeah, as I say, we'll leave that there. Obviously, the market, the transfer window slams shut, as Sky Sports would have you believe, on the 31st of this month. So we'll wait and see the business to do. But I would be fully expecting Rangers to make a move for someone. So we'll go on to the preview of the next game, which is against Livingston at Ibrox on Wednesday night. Livingston are sitting 8th in the league. Since the last time we played them, they've won 3, lost 3 and drawn 1. Not scoring a great deal of goals, but not conceding a great deal of goals either. Ali, your thoughts ahead of the game?
A bit of stuffy game. Martindale's always get them well organised. Livingston, they're a team of hammer throwers. Is maybe slightly disrespectful to them, but you know what I mean. They're organised. They know what they're doing. I think especially with the amount of guys we've got out for tomorrow night, Ryan Kent not being there, Alfie not being there. I think the Rangers fans, and I know we don't have patience, will need to have patience tomorrow night, because I think it could be one of their games. And I expect Rangers to win, but I just think it'll be one of the stuffy games at Ibrox tomorrow night. I fully expect it, because they've hit a wee bit of form, Livingston, but yeah, they're an organised team, Livingston, and they always take points off the other side of the city, but we've struggled at times against them as well. This season, we've actually done quite well, but in previous seasons we have struggled against them, because they play that low block, as people love to say in football now.
Livingston play the lowest of lowest blocks, though, from times. They really do. As I say, they've done it against Celtic this season. So they tend to sit in quite a bit. And I think you're right, mate. I think it might be a bit about patience. As I mentioned, they've not conceded a great deal of goals, not scored a great deal of goals either, but it's all about survival at times. Ryan, you, along the same lines of that, it's going to be a game of patience tomorrow night?
Ali's a hard guy to follow sometimes, I'll tell you, because he's literally just oh man,
he just says everything. That's the thing. No, he just says everything, so he covers everything, and you've nothing else to add. You're like, right.
Exactly.
Something else.
I'm sitting here. I was sitting here sweating, thinking, what else can I actually say here to add to what he's just said? Yeah, I got very frustrating, but yeah, it's I completely agree with him. Livingston are one of those teams that you find. They're stuffy. They play the I'll call it the low block, just to be different. They're just, as Ali said, Martindale has them organised. He knows how to play against Rangers. We always kind of find it difficult to break them down. Of course, I think we will break them down. But yeah, everybody strap in for one of those nights where you're going to get frustrated. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 0-0 at half time. And you're just, one of those games. We all know how it goes. But yeah, it's going to be one of those games. But I have got faith that we'll get the 3 points. I'm a lot more confident about 3 points than I would that other mob over the other side of the city getting 3 points tomorrow night. I think they're going to be in for a bit of a game. So it's good that we're both playing at the same time. I think that could be an interesting night, Ibrox tomorrow night.
Yeah, it could be. It's going to be. And the good thing is, when it's not an each half time at Ibrox, everybody's really understanding about it at Ibrox, so I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. It's what Martindale is all about. I don't criticise teams that do this. I generally don't. It's their choice. It's what they want to do. It's up to us to beat them. It's got nothing to do with what they really want to do. It's up to us to beat them. You going to say something, Ryan?
Yeah, sorry. Do you not think this is like? I just feel as if this has come about maybe the past 2 years. This low blocker. Teams have been coming to Ibrox and going to Parkhead or wherever you want and playing like this for years. This isn't a new thing, 10 men behind the ball. It's just been called the low block or whatever. This is not a new thing. This has been happening for years, and it's just what you've got to go on with, and I completely agree with you. I've not got a problem if a team sit back, every man behind the ball, and just defend for their lives, because the odd time, I think Livingston have taken 4 points off Celtic this season, and that's the way he plays, and he beat them 1-0 and drew 0-0 with them at Celtic Park. So that's the way they play, and you need to find the answer, and that's what we need to do tomorrow night. So yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't have any problem with them coming to Ibrox to play like that.
It's their prerogative. It's the way they want to play football. I mean, you can't really. It's about survival for them at the end of the day. And I don't mean no disrespect to them for that, but the last thing they want is to be in a relegation battle. And apart from that, they want to finish as high as they possibly can, yes, but it's just about staying in the league for them. So it is what it is. It's up to us to deal with that. It's not up for them to let us score as such. On the team prediction then, Gio at the press conference gave a squad update. Obviously, the big one is Hadji out for the rest of the season. However, Rangers welcome back Scott Arfield and Ryan Jack to the squad. Ali, do you want to go first, mate? What do you think the team is going to be tomorrow night?
Yeah, that was good to hear about Ryan Jack.
In fact, wait, just in case you steal Ryan's, because you stole his last answer. Ryan, you can go first.
Right.
Right, my team's the exact same as Ali's.
I knew you were going to do that as well.
No, I've went McGregor, Tav, Goldson, Bassey, Barisic, Kamara, all aboard the Lowry train. He's starting. Sakala, Roof, Wright, Itten.
Right, okay.
Attack.
My team's nothing like that.
Yeah. What's your score, mate? Who's your first goal scorer?
A score is 2-0. He comes for Zambia. Sakala to score first.
Well, my score is exactly the same as yours, but I think my team's a wee bit different. Ali, you want to go?
Yeah, I could have went first there. That's quite a light midfield, Ryan, you've got there. Who's your midfield kind of three? Kamara?
No.
Lowry
Kamara's himself. Lowry will be the back and forward. So Kamara himself. Who did we play against? I'm trying to think. Was that far back? Was it St Mirren we played Kamara just himself? Or was it... No, it wasn't St Mirren. What was the game before St Mirren? And he played Kamara himself. Was it St Johnstone? I think that's what we'll do tomorrow night. I think he'll play Kamara himself and Lowry will just back and forward it.
Right. Well, I've got the same back line. I've got McGregor, Tav, Goldson. Bassey deserves to start. I know Balogun can back when Bassey starts. Barisic, Kamara. Scotty Arfield's going to come back in because I've seen him in Kamara's Instagram last week dancing about like a maniac. So he's obviously ready to go. I'm going to slightly contradict myself from what I said earlier on. I think Bakuna will start because potentially I know we're all. I know potentially he's a tin opener. So I think he'll start, and then my kind of front kind of three. Kamara Roof, I think, will play through the middle, but I can't see Kamara Roof playing the next 3 games because I don't think he can play the next 3 games, so he might drop out on Saturday. But it'll be Kamara Roof through the middle, and either side of him will be the man for Zambia, Fashion Sakala, and Scott Wright.
So, yeah, and your score?
2-0 as well.
2-0.
I'll go Bakuna first goal scorer. There we go.
No chance, man. Not a chance. Well, I mean, as I say, I'm probably going to contradict myself from a thing I was saying earlier on about us having to temper expectations. I think Lowry will start due to the Hadji injury. So I'm going McGregor, Tav, Goldson, Bassey, Barisic, Kamara, Arfield, Lowry, Wright, Sakala, and Itten. I don't think Kamara Roof will start. I think Kamara Roof will possibly be on the bench. The only thing I can see different with that team, in my opinion, is Roof playing for Lowry and maybe letting Roof be a number 10. Or we maybe go 4-4-2. You never know. That could very possibly happen. But yeah, that'll be my team. I can't. Bakuna, just not. Surely not. I know he get 2 assists the other night, but it is against Stirling Albion. But I'm not sure. Interesting one. Interesting to see. I'm sure the news of Hadji to Gio has got him thinking about what he's going to do until he maybe enters the transfer market to bring somebody else in. So it'll be an interesting team to see whatever. I would love to put Ryan Jack to start, but we all know Ryan Jack will not start.
I'll give you one here, Carney, as well. As I said, and we've all said, it's going to be a stuffy game tomorrow night, and it could be one of the games. I know Joe Aribo arrives back tonight, but I'm putting him on the bench tomorrow night because we've got that big. I would stick him on the bench if it's going up shit creek with 20 minutes to go. I think he's if he's feeling okay and it's not going to do any potential damage to him in his recovery time or whatever, then yeah, I would go along with that. And my thinking behind Lowry is Livingston are going to play very similar to the same way Stirling Albion played. It's going to be back 5, back 6 at times, and Lowry managed to unlock it. So to get us off and running. So I'm going to give him the chance. If I'm saying that as if I pick a team, do you know what I mean? You kind of get yourself in the mode as if you're picking the team. Obviously, I'm not. So it'll be interesting to see, though. Really interesting to see. And yeah, back
back to Ibrox we go tomorrow night. So that'll do us. I always say thank my guests. I thank my Club at 22 podcaster, Ali. Thank you very much, mate.
No problem. Look forward to being back at Ibrox tomorrow night, and I'm confident of a Rangers win tomorrow night.
Yes, I am confident of a Rangers win tomorrow night, which disaster written over the top of it. Ryan, thanks very much, mate.
Cheers, boys. Yeah, really looking forward to Ibrox tomorrow night. It's going to be special for me because I've managed to get both my sons a ticket in the same row as me. So absolutely buzzing for that. Obviously, my dad will be there as well. So yes, buzzing for that. That was a wee surprise for the boys as well. So hopefully we get a victory and 3 points for the Rangers.
Did they know yet?
No, they don't know yet.
Well, he's going to watch this pod, mate, because he's tuning in now. So
we're not doing a live one tonight, are we? No, we're not. Right now. What time is it? Oh, don't say that. I won't watch. He won't watch this. You make me panic there.
Yeah, I was like, you might end up telling him. He might tune in. No, that's great, mate. That's cracking. So that'll do us. Shameless plug from me. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the videos, give us a wee 5-star review and Apple Podcast. Please enter the Rangers Charity Raffle. Help us raise as much as we can for the Rangers Charity Foundation, and you could be in a chance of winning a tour for 4 for Ibrox. It's only £3 to enter. Pretty spectacular chance of winning a prize to get a tour of Ibrox for only £3 for 4 people. Be pretty amazing. So thank you for that. We will be back tomorrow night with a club reaction after the game. Last but not least, thank you to everybody for tuning in and listening to us tonight. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Speak to you all next time. Cheers, everyone.